Truly, Sashli, it's I don't know how much background, from Grant that you were given about, this project, but, indeed, like an interview like this is really meaningful.
Yeah.
Because, there's 1.4 billion people in India, and CBD is really starting to gain more awareness, more traction. It's growing. There's more buzz building. And, I think just like with any culture where we've kind of seen a cannabis industry kind of follow its historical path, for most countries around the world, there is a period of, demonization, right? And especially kind of lumping hemp with marijuana.
Yeah.
That, this is taboo. It's forbidden, So there's this nice phase in many of all of these countries of sort of this awakening of, oh, wait a minute, this is, this is actually incredible medicine, this is incredibly powerful material. So, so videos like this, especially with someone who's an incredible professional like yourself, so successful, so much knowledge about health and wellness and fitness, just, your perspective on all of this is extremely valuable, and it's affirming, to the audience in India, just to see someone like yourself. So thank you, really.
The funny part to say, I was one of the people who's like, it's a drug, I will never touch it. I used to be one of them.
You're kidding me, really?
Because it's, okay, so in the States, it's so different from Sweden, right? The way we grew up there, they're like, oh my God, weed in Americans is a drug. And, alcohol is so common in Sweden. So everyone drinks alcohol. They start so early. I've never been a big alcohol drinker myself because I've always been in the fitness industry, but I was so careful because I didn't really know, CBD, weed, THC, everything kind of sounded the same to me before I had the knowledge. And I started to learn more and more about it when I moved out here. And it's the same thing in Middle East, it's like, no, it's a drug and all that stuff. But now I've never worked with a CBD company before Nirvana, because I am really picky with the companies I associate myself with, because being in the industry, you have to be careful, with the wrong sponsors or the wrong products, they can literally like not give you good placings, you will have a bad reputation. And when Nirvana approached me, I was doing more research about the CBD products in general, but then I liked how it was so catered to athletes, just the base that it didn't have any THC. It was like broad spectrum, with all the recovery products that literally changed my mind. And I am so happy that I tried it because it makes a huge difference.
Let's get into it then. You just queued up the perfect segue. What is the difference? Because you're like an incredible bodybuilder, incredible fitness expert. What is the difference before, after CBD in your career with fitness? What did you experience?
Blake, just one thing before we start. First thing, I started the video, so hello everyone. And just one thing before we start, I think we have very good opportunity to touch on a very interesting subject with you, Sashli, which is that, as you said, you speak Farsi, so you're a bit, so you have an understanding of the Asian culture and Asian sentimentalities, am I correct?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so you know how anti-cannabis, anti-CBD, sometimes the more conservative side of that part of the world can be, right?
Yeah,
and
it's kind of classified as a drug, basically.
Exactly. And it would be so awesome if you could share your own experience of how you got over the taboo and the perception that has come along with the cannabis products.
Yeah.
Considering information that has always been fed to you, that would be like very dope to touch upon that.
Okay, I'll bring that up as well. Definitely.
So indeed, so you went through, your process of working with CBD both has, if I'm hearing correctly, there's a cultural element to it, like what Vinesh was just saying.
Yeah.
And there's a physical, an actual physical experiential component you had with it. So what were both of those evolutions like? I'm curious.
I think, what is it, for the past maybe 3 years, the CBD industry has been bigger now with the athletes and the recovery, and it's not a drug. I think for me moving out here, and then because I have 2 master degrees. I have 1 master degree in sports science. I have another one in nutrition. So for me, I'm always like really careful with what I put in my body. I read up on like everything. It can be anything from like regular supplements to whatever it can be, right? So when they start bringing in more and more CBD products into the fitness industry, I start reading up on it a little more. I was like, okay, so what are the benefits? Like, why have I always been so scared of using it? Because it's always been classified as a drug where I come from, like basically from Sweden and Iran or whatever.
Yeah.
And I started doing research and I realized that it all depends. Like there's so many different avenues in it. It's not just like weed. You know, you have the hemp, and then you started selling the hemp protein and all that stuff. And it kind of caught my eyes a little bit and I started to do more research. But I was still a little scared what company I wanted to associate myself with, because if I wanted to do like a CBD product I wanted to work with, it's how they approach the athletes and how they approach the people. So with Nirvana, what changed my mind honestly was how they marketed themselves and the knowledge they put out there on the internet. And then it was just, the products were so clean when I started reading up on it. So I kind of put my guard down a little bit and tried it out. I can tell you the first gummy I took, I was a little skeptical. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, am I gonna get high? I'm not gonna lie. I was like, because I don't do weed.
From one gummy, one CBD gummy.
But it's here, right? Because you don't know. Okay, it's like people, when they start in the fitness industry, they're scared to take supplements. They think they're gonna get swole right away. So when I start thinking like that, I start laughing to myself. I'm like, I'm just like everyone else right now. But then I think it's just knowledge helps a lot, you know, with the whole CBD world, knowing what you're putting in your body, knowing like, okay, is the THC and stuff that actually makes you feel affected. The CBD part helps you with your recovery. So I started taking the CBD products. My first product was the CBD recovery lotion. I have it right here.
That's great. No, I think we actually, and just, you know, to clarify or to add another layer of information for the audience in India. So Sashli, we didn't say this initially. Sashli is sponsored by Nirvana CBD. I don't know what the exact verbiage is for that, but you're an influencer. You're sponsored by by Nirvana CBD, and soon we'll have Nirvana CBD products in India. And I think this is one of them. The recovery lotion.
So, and this helps a lot. It actually, if you're sore and you put this on, it will literally take away the pain. It will help your muscles relax. So that was one of the eye openers for me, because training as heavy as I do, when I'm getting ready for a show, I train 3 times a day, 7 days a week.
How many minutes each workout session?
I try to not do more than an hour, because I don't want my body to hit the state where I start burning muscle mass instead. But it's like a morning workout, midday and night. So for your body to be able to recover, you need to add something to it. So I don't really do supplements like that. I try to eat my foods. I do the supplements I use is basically glutamine and, the vitamins and the minerals, the stuff that you can't really get into your body. But for the recovery, this has helped me a lot, like the CBD lotion.
Nice. And do you do edibles as well?
I do their gummies. We have the gummies here, but that's it. Like we don't have, they look like this. They have like 1 portion sizes. Yeah. I mean, they're relaxing, but my preference is to put that on the body.
Awesome.
Have you ever got side effects of this CBD products?
They're so mild and they're so pure. So I don't think you can ever get any side effects with it. I understand, like, I wouldn't even know how to get side effects with the products, because it's like basically a plant. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing unnatural in it. And I think is when the mistake people do is that when companies start taking CBD and mix a bunch of other chemicals in it and stuff, that will affect your body. But with these, they're so pure that it's not like it will hit you. Like with the gummies, it kind of just relaxes you. You get more focused, if anything. So it's not like you will get high, or like I was like, my dumbass thought I was gonna get high from some CBD gummies, but it's just like experience. You don't really know what you're putting in your body first, but there's no side effects at all.
Have you ever used beauty products which are CBD?
I have one of my friends actually. I was on vacation. I forgot my skin product here. This was like probably like 5 weeks ago, and I don't remember the brand of it, but they had like it was some serum for your face, some lotion. I think it was a night cream. What I realized with CBD products in general is like they're so light and so pure. I like the feeling of it. Honestly, I should probably go and get some, but I just like, you can feel how natural things are with the CBD products because they're so focused on getting the clean ingredients in it.
Yeah.
But I haven't used it enough to be like, oh, it changed my skin or whatever. But I like when I tried it.
And have you in your research, did you learn about, have you researched the endocannabinoid system? Have you studied that?
I came across it a little bit. It wasn't anything like I was like focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me because you talk about how just it feels so natural, and for people watching this video, that the endocannabinoid system is this whole system of chemical receptors in the human body and the human physiology, where literally on a molecular level there are these receptors that are created from thousands and thousands of years of human evolution. There are these receptors in there that are chemically designed perfectly to match cannabinoids, and it comes from this tens of thousands of years of joint evolution of human beings in the hemp plant, because we've used the hemp plant for tens of thousands of years for clothing, for rope, for building materials, and for medicine. So we literally have evolved with this plant over tens of thousands of years. There's fossil records of human beings, early humans in Africa, where they found these ancient fossil records of people and the hemp plant in Africa, tens of thousands of years old. So when you speak about how it feels natural, I think a lot of people can resonate with that. And I think an element of that naturalness of CBD is that our body literally is molecularly and biochemically designed to want the cannabinoids that are in it. I think even on our skin, my wife has some of that CBD. She has some of the CBD beauty products as well, and she literally can't get enough of it. Just like it just feels so good. Yeah. Then like a night cream, a day cream, a beauty skin serum or something. Yeah. So I think you can feel it on your skin and when you take it internally also.
It's just a feeling. It's hard to describe what you mean, but like it breathes. I don't know how to, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. If someone had tried anything CBD products for their face, you will understand.
And I'm curious too, Vanessa talked about, so there's the evolution you've had just in integrating CBD into your fitness practice. Culturally, like you have relatives in Iran still, yes?
Yes.
Do they're aware that you're taking CBD products? What do they think about it?
I mean, they all follow me on Instagram, so they know now. Okay, so if you think like this, I'm a little rebel. If you think about how what I do is not the typical thing for a Persian woman to do, my family in Iran are like, they're modern and everything, but they still have their standards and how they see things. And with me and basically being in the smallest bikini on stage, or doing the whole modeling thing, and for me it was more important that I would educate them to show them that you can actually be a smart woman and you can have goals and dreams and be well educated and still pursue something else, and it doesn't have to be taboo, right? So I try to be a good example, and if they didn't understand it, it will be on them, because I'm still going to do what I do, because what I do it really respectfully. I don't know if you guys look at my social media, but it's super important for me to have a good image, that if any young girls would look at my page, I could still be like, yeah, this is me. So I don't post certain things, I don't do certain things. And that's why I was so careful in the beginning with the whole CBD stuff, because I would never work with an alcohol company. It's not who I am. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what, I want to join Nirvana with their CBDs, because I want to educate people that it is not a drug. Like, I've been there once, and no one educated me, so I had to learn by myself. Now I want to educate you. So whoever comes to my page, I want to be like, yeah, you know what? This is what it is. You should try it. And I can tell you guys that whoever bought any CBD products off my page, they always go back and order.
Awesome.
So I try to be a good spokesperson for the CBD stuff. Yeah.
Have you gotten pushback though from people in Iran? Has anyone ever sent you a message saying, hey, this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. Has there ever been any, pushback at all, or no?
Nothing like that. If anything has to say anything from relatives, they'll probably go to my mom. They won't say anything to me. But nothing, honestly, I think.
What is your daughter doing?
Yeah, they probably got a little bit of this and that, but I think it's more like how you approach it. It's so important, you know. If you're a professional with everything, you don't post certain photos with the products. They can't say anything because I'm literally educating people.
I can relate to Sashli very well because even in India, people are very, they consider it to be taboo.
Yeah.
CBDs and all the cannabis stuff. So I can
Because
relate
they
to
think
you.
it's a drug. Yeah, they're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she's taking drugs. I'm like, calm down, it's a plant. You know, so
Yeah.
I think that's
So,
something I had to do, educate people more and be like, okay, relax. Like, this is what it is. You need to do your research. Like, don't jump the gun, you know?
You know, because you do professional bodybuilding competitions. What percentage of people in that industry that you work with, what percent do you think are using CBD products now? You know, these high level.
Now, yes, I think it's a lot more and it keeps growing. I'm just thinking about like all the avenues of CBD products. Like if you look at 2 years ago, it was just new in the market it was there, but like no one would talk about the CBD products. You know, at the expos, you will have like a couple of CBD companies that will come and like show what they had. But I want to believe at least 50% of the people use this stuff.
Wow.
Because if it's not CBD itself, it might be hemp protein, you know, like some people smoke to relax. That's a lot of people do that as well. So, but with the CBD stuff, at least if I think about it, maybe 40-50% of my friends are affiliated with some kind of CBD stuff, and they always ask me about it. And there might be some people that use it on the low, I don't know. But I think honestly, like 40-50% have tried at least some kind of CBD stuff when it comes to for recovery and, you know, as an athlete.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you think that it's like, especially in the fitness world,
yeah,
there are so many fads, right?
Yeah.
There's some, you know, all of a sudden out of the blue, there's some, you know, big hype about, you know, this, that, or the other. I mean, I've, you know, over however many years of, you know, I think 20, I'm not in as good shape as you, but I still, you know, I kind of hold my own, you know, I'm not doing too bad. You know, I watch what I eat, you know, very closely.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, and I've been in the nutraceutical industry for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And there are these little blips of fads, right? Something comes along,
Yeah.
everyone's buzzing about it, but then a lot of them will just kind of fade away. It says, yeah, you kind of still, you know, they're out there, you know, a couple of years later, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think that CBD is going to be one of those? It's on a similar trajectory, or do you feel like CBD is going to be one of the ones that's really here to stay?
CBD, yeah. CBD is staying. CBD is not going nowhere.
CBD
when you tried it, when you tried it, you're not going to let it go. Unless, you know, the quality is something will happen with the world and the quality of CBD would just get really bad. But it's like CBD is going to be one of those basic supplements. Basically, like, you know, you have whatever gut control, you have glutamine, you have minerals, vitamins. CBD is going to be one of them. It's not even going to be classified as a regular supplement. It's going to be classified as a necessary supplement. That's what I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the fitness world, I remember, you know, 25 years ago, like when Metrics first came out with their like protein powders. I remember even when protein powder for, you know, for bodybuilders and, you know, people, you know, you know, who are really trying to, you know, bulk up and get good muscle mass. I remember when protein powders was like a weird revolutionary thing, you know, get this giant tub, you know, of powder and these scoops of what you look like this crazy chemical. But now it's like, you know, you see tubs of powder. It's just ubiquitous, you know, it's all over.
Yeah.
And Sashli, I had a question, right? You are familiar with Asian cuisine, right? It's spicy food that we eat, right, in Asia. So how do you think CBD goes along with it? You know, do you feel it helps balance, you know, the heat and everything which comes along with the spices that are prevalent in the Asian cuisine, for example?
It might actually. I've never tried it myself. Like the stuff I take is mostly. Let me see. I'll show you guys. You know, it's more like soft gels and stuff like that. But I've never personally tried anything that will like. I mean, I probably would if I lived. So I used to live in Thailand for 9 months. If I lived there, I would have probably tried some kind of CBD products that will help with the stomach and the spiciness, but I don't understand why it wouldn't if it's a specific product for it, because it does calm down your skin when you're sore. So why wouldn't it calm down your inner if it's just one of those pills you can take? So it might actually work. I never thought about it.
Yeah, interesting. And
Yeah.
what advice would you give to girls and women in India who want to pursue fitness and bodybuilding? How would CBD make a difference if they were to do without CBD or with CBD? How would it make a difference doing this with CBD?
Well, first of all, as you guys know, it's super important to have a strict regimen with your diet and obviously like your workouts and training program. So that comes first. But let's say you already have that stuff on lock, the CBD products will help you with your recovery, especially for women. If we train harder, we don't have as much muscle mass as a man. So for us to be able to use the CBD products, it actually helps with your recovery, so you can push yourself a little better the next day. And also just for the recovery part, we don't have as much testosterone, so it's easier for us to have something that will help us with the recovery, so it can go harder the next day.
You reckon with CBD, it's natural to expect that a person can give a better training session. They can maybe run more. They can maybe lift more as a result of.
Think like this: you get refreshed faster. So let's say I will because I do legs 3 days a week. If I do a leg workout, if I do legs Monday and I'm going to do legs Wednesday again, my body's still going to be sore, so I'm not going to be able to perform as much as I want. Putting a CBD lotion on that will help you with your recovery, you will be already refreshed for Wednesday. So it's the recovery part is so important. Even like if you have hard time sleeping, with the products, it will actually help you. You have the ones that will help you during your sleep for recovery. Taking that, you will be refreshed the next day. So it helps speeding up the process a lot. That way you don't have to wait as long. And then if you feel refreshed faster, that way you can go harder in the gym.
And Sashli, when you're training for competitions, I understand the nutrition routines are very strict, right? Like you have to eat very, very specific stuff at very, very specific time.
Yeah.
Does CBD help deal with cravings, appetite-related cravings, or maybe if you feel like eating, say, a cake and other cravings that we all get, does CBD help control those and help stay on a
it helps me. It helps me. I felt the difference because you can use the CBD oil drops. You can take a gummy or two. That helps me because it kind of relaxes me and I don't have the same cravings. But you can't like overdo it, But I think the drops are really good as well. Just you can put them in your protein shake, or you can put them in your coffee, depending on the flavor. But the gels, they help me. The gummies, if I take them, it kind of helps me with my cravings a little bit.
And what else too? I'm curious. We're focused heavily on CBD here, but I do think it's important and really meaningful and relevant, to all the people watching in India, to hear your general thoughts about health and wellness. So, and my goodness, you're such a professional, high level athlete and fitness expert, which some people in this audience watching, I'm sure are going to be that. But like for for your everyday person who just wants to stay healthy, feel happy, feel balanced, feel vibrant, energized, alive, like, do you what's your guidance on just general optimal health and wellness? Like if there's, say, a couple things that you do every day in terms of activity and a handful of supplements, like 3 or 4 supplements.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the core kind of basic advice that you would give to people who just want to live a healthy, happy, vibrant life?
The first rule is find something that you will feel good doing. Do not try to be someone else or push yourself to do workouts that is not for you. So it just is the balance part that's the hardest for people, because when they decide they want to go be fit, they're going to like get a super strict diet. They're going to cut everything out. They're going to be extreme, like 3-4 hours in the gym, and it will last for a week, right? So having little steps. For me, in the mornings when I wake up, I meditate, right? It helps me like clear my mind. It doesn't have to be long. If you're in a rush, start with 10 minutes. If you want to do it longer, do it for like 30 minutes, whatever. And then find little things that makes you happy, that you feel like, okay, this can be an activity. Don't start with going all out in the beginning, because it's never going to last. So if it's like, you know what, I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to go out for a walk, 30 minutes a day. I'm going to cut the sugar out in my diet. You can start by doing that. And then when you're there, you're like, you know what, the 30-minute exercise is super light for me. I'm going to start jogging. And then you develop it like from there, you little by little, whatever works for you. So you can have your body also get used to it, or else you're going to be so sore and you're going to be so fatigued that you're not want to go back to the gym. So you're just finding little steps, little by little. Just stop eating processed foods. If you buy something, like if you have a, let's see, I'm going to grab like I have a hot sauce here. Speaking of spicy food. If you're like looking for products, always look what the ingredients is, right? See that you're not putting a bunch of sugars and salts in your body. Just be more mindful of what you eat. Because people don't get it. Nutrition is 80% of your results. So try to find balance. Like, stop eating big meals. Maybe have smaller meals during the day and incorporate like vegetables and fruits to your diets. Make sure the proteins you're eating is from a good source. If you want to go, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, make sure you still get your proteins in. You know, it's super important for your recovery. And find ways that will work for you and don't try to be someone else. And then, of course, you can have something sweet or whatever, but limit yourself maybe to the weekend. That way you start making it more of a lifestyle, because if you follow a diet, it's not going to work. Try to make it your lifestyle as you do. Like, you know, you work out, you stand in your office, you have like in the middle of a meeting, you might just pump some biceps or whatever.
Yeah.
Am
Don't
I
tell
right?
anybody. Only you know that on video here.
But it's just more making it a lifestyle, making it something that works for you. If you have a hard time committing, incorporate some friends, you know, hey, let's start working out 2-3 times a week. I think balance is the key. And sometimes it's hard for people to be patient, but being patient is going to give you the best results, because that way you're going to realize what your body's capable of as well.
I really like how you say that. Well, I just want to draw real focus to that. You said that really it's about lifestyle. I would guess that is that single word alone is a big, you know, is a big shifting point for a lot of people. I do think that a lot of people who want to be healthier, they almost think like, this is my life, you know, this is what I do for work, this is how I normally eat, this is what I normally do for exercise. It's like they have their sense of their life, and then fitness is this thing over there that, oh, fitness is something I have to do. It's like it's off to the side. Okay, now I have to go and step into a fitness thing, but really it's about a fully integrated lifestyle. And like you're saying,
like,
finding what works, finding what feels natural, finding what works for someone. Mm-hmm.
Because they make it such a bigger project than it is. That's why people are like, you know what, I'll start Monday. And then like a year went by and I'll start Monday. I'm like, because you think that you have to do all these things. Just put it in your life. Just make it a part of your daily routines. It's not that advanced. It's people make it harder than it is.
And they don't have to do 3-4 hours a day of workout gym like you do. They can.
I wouldn't do it if I don't have to either. Off season, when I'm basically in between shows and I'm not getting ready for a show. Yeah. And that's the biggest recovery part of my whole process, because I train once a day and I work out 5 days a week. I make sure I'm fully recovered, because when you go into mode to start cutting, you're going to need every little ounce of energy, and you want your body to be fully rested, because that's the part of the bigger process too, that you need the recovery. And that's where CBD comes in a lot, because it helps so much with your recovery.
What does that mean? You said to start cutting? What is that what you said?
So, okay. So when we start in the bodybuilding world, when you start cutting, is that when you start going so hard that you start cutting down on your body fat, right? So the way we look on stage, I mean, I think the lowest I've been is like 5% body fat. And that's low for a woman.
Whoa.
You know, so when I'm off season, I'm probably more at 15%, which is, as a woman, you can't be that cut all year round. It's like literally dangerous. For men, it's easier to keep it that way. But for a woman, for your hormones and everything to be balanced, there's no way you can stay that lean without your body getting hurt. Oh, so it's more like for the cutting season is when we incorporate like more cardio. You know, you just not only do the lifting part, you start adding like, you know, if you're going to do running, or if you're going to do bicycle, if you're going to do Stairmaster, elliptical, whatever, that's the season when we start cutting down for a show.
Nice. I didn't even know that terminology. That is some official bodybuilding terminology. Start cutting. Okay.
Yeah.
Vinesh,
when we start cutting
ready.
Out, we're gonna get.
Are we ready? I'm gonna start cutting. I feel it.
And speaking of
Like,
cutting, Sashli, I think this actually allows me to raise a very interesting conversation, right? As you know, there is a lot of these days with the media. There is a lot of pressure, or you could say a lot of expectation, yeah, out of for a lot of people, especially women, to be extremely slim or extremely lean
yeah.
and things like that. And you talked about accepting oneself the way they are. How would you can you say something to the females in India who have body image issues, that they are worried about how they look and are doing
Yeah.
unhealthy things in order to
Yeah.
to fit a particular media hyped profile? Yeah.
Okay, so this is the tricky part with this sport, right? We all have some kind of issues, or else you wouldn't be in the sport. I'm just being honest with you guys. It's not easy. You have to learn so much about yourself, and you learn so much about yourself during the whole progress that for me, with my body, like the Middle Eastern part of me, I can't stay that lean. There's no way my body can be at 4% to be able to get comfortable that I'm not gonna look like my photos all year round. So when I grew up, I had issues with eating as well. I had both anorexia and bulimia, and it took me a while to like accept it. But these days, when I'm not in prep and I'm not in season, my body gets way curvier, and I use it as my advantage to be able to show females that it is okay to not be at 4%, 5% body fat. You have to let your body rest. Starving yourself is not going to help you. What's going to happen if you start starving yourself? The first thing that's going to go is all your muscle mass that you worked hard for. The body like keeps the body fat because it goes into starvation mode. So when your body goes into starvation mode, what happens is it's going to be so much easier to take the muscle as a fuel, and there you are. You're just going to be so-called skinny fat. That's the term we use for it, because you're skinny but you don't have any muscle mass left, and you start adding body fat to it. It's hard. Is there's no easy way to be like, okay girls, you just have to start eating. But it is so important to educate yourself as a woman to know what you're doing to your body, or the side effects are going to be horrible. My thing is, usually if I deal with females that have issues, I'm like, do you want a family? Do you want to have kids in the future? Because if you keep doing this to your body, you're not going to be able to start a family. That's usually an eye opener for a lot of females out there. So just don't be scared to eat. You just have to take it step by step. If you've been on a hard diet, incorporate a little more food every week. It's called a reverse diet. So basically, when you're cutting down and you have a diet, you start cutting your food, and reverse dieting is basically the opposite. You start adding a little bit more food to your nutrition every week, and then keep the exercise going. That way your body's going to adjust to it, and you're not going to gain weight. But you can't compare yourself to social media, because these days it's horrible. Everyone's editing their photos. Everyone's like taking the best angles of their bodies, so they look a certain way. It's a big problem these days. But I just try to be one of those role models that shows that when I'm not competing, I'm not scared to eat, and I'm not scared to gain weight, because it's going to be a part of the process.
That's super inspiring to hear. I have a 10-year-old girl, actually, who was adopted from Thailand. You mentioned that you lived in Thailand for 9 months. Thailand is a quasi second home for us, but it's probably one of the things that I feel most nervous about for my daughter.
Yeah.
Is all of the body image stuff that she sees on social media and on YouTube, whatever it is. Like, it makes me nervous.
Yeah, so it's super important, like, because I remember what was an eye-opener. So I had issues with foods, and I wouldn't eat. And one night, I think I was like 14, my mom came into my room, and I was so skinny that when you lay on the bed, the sheets were like hurting me. That's how skinny I was. She came into my room, and she had a banana in her hand. I will never forget this. And she just started crying. She's like, if you don't eat this, you're gonna kill me. She literally, like, I can start crying thinking about it. And it was just, I don't know what it was, but I just realized that I'm not only hurting myself, I'm hurting my family. And that's when I think because I've always been active. I've always been, my mom went to aerobics classes. I would join her. But it was that point for me that I was like, you know what, I can't do this no more. So it was really hard for me to eat. It took a long time, but it was something about that banana that she brought into my room, and I ate half of it, and I said, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna have you go through this again. And that's when I started incorporating more workouts. I did martial arts for like 5 years. you know, and then I realized that that's when I started educating myself. Even if I was only 14, I was like, okay, so what happens is if I don't eat and I work out, it's not going to do anything for me. I'm not going to gain any muscle mass. I'm not going to help my body. And then, you know, being young and not having a period for like 2 years, that was like she was like, do you want kids? Or do you want to just kill yourself? She was literally blunt with me. And
wow.
Ever since, I was like, you know what, I have to make sure that females, young ladies, knows what they're doing to their bodies, because the problem is a lot of people in the industry, they just go all out and they don't really think about it. Especially on the high level as an athlete, you just have to educate people, and you have to start young. You have to go to the young girls and be like, you know, and that's one of the things I love to do. If I have the opportunities to go out to schools or you travel, whatever, to share my experience, it's so important, because it is so easy to get caught in the loophole of all that.
Yeah, it even I feel really grateful for you sharing all that. Thank you. That's some serious,
Like,
that's some real stuff. That's some serious real stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a wake up call for me. So it definitely, like, you don't realize it because you're so caught up in the whole situation that nothing else matters. Like, you know, you're like measuring, oh my God, can I, like, how skinny do I feel today? Or it's crazy. When you're in it, you don't understand it.
Yeah. It does actually happen for men too, you know, definitely far more for women. But I do think that now that social media is so just, you know, ultra pervasive in all of our world. And I'll tell you, and Vinesh, I don't even think in all of our conversations, I don't think I ever mentioned this to you, but I actually was somewhat anorexic myself when I was 19.
Yeah.
I was in college, and it was the phase in the early 1990s of no fat. I don't know, Sashli, if you remember this. All the marketing, you know, in the United States was fat is bad. You know, so fat-free milk, fat-free yogurt, fat-free cookies, everything was fat-free, fat-free, fat-free.
Yeah.
I really took this to heart, right? It's like I'm like, oh, well, fat's bad. I just won't eat it. And I was working out, you know, probably an hour or two every day. I was looking at the label of everything I bought. I ate less than 3 grams of fat a day for about a year. And the reason that I feel compelled to share this with you, because this interview is about you, it's not about me, but I just is my mother. You mentioned your mother came in and held this banana, right?
Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
So I had been away. It was my sophomore year in undergrad. I saw my mom at the end of that. And again, I had gone about a year eating essentially 0 fat for a whole year and working out like crazy. And it turns out I didn't even really notice it. I had lost 30 something pounds maybe, and my skin had turned gray. Literally my skin color was gray, like death. And my mom looked at me. She hadn't seen me in months because I'd been at school. She looked at me and she just stopped dead in her tracks. And instead of saying, Blake, you know, how are you? I love you. It's so good to see you. She literally stopped dead in her tracks and said, Blake, what happened? And looking at her expression in her face and just hearing those 2 words, what happened?
Yeah.
It just hit me like a,
isn't it amazing?
Immediately,
the power of mothers.
I'm like, uh-oh. I messed up with my mom.
It's like, shit, what happened?
What did I do? Oh, I mean, it was crazy. This wave of energy hit me of like, dude, what did you do? You messed up. You know? Anyway, so there's just a tiny bit of empathy that I have for people who it is, because it's very mental.
Mothers, it's crazy. Yeah. Moms can do it all, huh?
Totally. In the next year, by the way, I put on 45 pounds of solid muscle in the next year. I did nothing.
She would come back, she's like,
I went completely the other direction. I ate so much protein and worked out probably 2-3 hours a day also. And I became a monster. My shoulders used to be this huge. It was, I went the whole other direction in the next year.
Pretty amazing.
He's still jacked, by the way. And I must ask, Sashli, did CBD help you get over these issues of anorexia and bulimia and other eating disorders? Did CBD help you overcome this?
Well, this was like 10, what is that shit? I'm getting old. This was over 10 years ago. So CBD is kind of new to me. I've been using it for like a year now. So I don't know, like, if I had issues back then, if it would help me, but it might actually help people because if you're relaxed and you're not overthinking things, and you know, you just get calmer and don't get so obsessed with things and obsessive, maybe it will help. I don't want to say I've experienced it myself because I don't want to lie or anything, but I can just imagine it will help.
So with all the physical benefits of CBD, right? What
Yeah.
would you say are the psychological or the mental benefits that you have personally witnessed from using CBD?
It calms down my nerves. Like when I was getting ready for my show, it helps a lot because my personal experience with the gummies is that it relaxes you, but it still brings you focus. It's not like you get high. It just relaxes you. It helps you, like, you know, calm down if you're stressed out about something, or, you know, if you have a little bit of anxiety, it actually helps you taking the gummy. So let's say you're nervous about, like, oh my God, what am I going to do at my show? Or how's this, you know, how the results going to be? Am I going to be a good competitor? It helped me because when I take the gummies at night, it helps me mentally so I can sleep better as well.
Yeah, I hardly work out. Usually my job is like work from home. I'm an IT professional. So yeah, I need some tips from you. Like what are the basic training which I can go through? Like just basic workout because I hardly
Oh,
work
you mean
out.
when
So
you're
for a
from home?
beginner, yeah, I work from
From
home.
home?
Yeah.
I mean, you can always buy my bands. I'm just messing with you.
I surely do that though.
Product plug.
Ka-ching! That's why I have to be smart. Well, let me show you guys this. So with COVID happening here in the States, right, and everything is like closed, so I created my own little gym here. There's always ways. Let me see if I can flip the camera. See?
Nice.
Oh,
So I have
nice.
I have my little bike. I have like dumbbells. You know, you have like plates. You don't really need much. You can get far by just, you know, doing home workouts with either resistance bands or nothing. So for you, if you're working from home, if you're able to go like before breakfast in the mornings, if you can go and, you know, go out for a power walk for half an hour and then have your breakfast, and then midday have a little break and do some like basic exercises, some air squats. You can even use, like, if you have a water bottle, use it to do like overhead presses. There's so many things you can do. Just stay active, like have something you do before your breakfast, you know, to wake your body up, even if it's just a power walk, or at midday, maybe before lunch, do like a 20-minute routine at home. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just having routines and staying active.
Apart from your you being a fitness expert, you are a beautiful model and an actress too. So can you tell me about how CBD has helped you to achieve acting professional as well?
Oh
Like
my God. So
because
let me tell you guys a funny story. Let's say, I don't know the days now, but let's say I did a leg workout Monday and it was a really heavy workout. And then Tuesday morning, I got a call from this agency that I booked a commercial for, I think it was for Nike. And I was so sore. Like my body was hurting so much. And they wanted me to do all these like exercises for the video, right? And I was like, I couldn't even sit. I couldn't sit. I couldn't jump. So I think I used a full a full recovery thing. I put it on my body all through the day, and honestly, I would not been able to shoot that video if I didn't have the recovery stuff. Like when I say I was sore, imagine if you felt like your body was like bruised all over. It was one of those workouts. So with the products, with CBD products, like if I ever, because you know, you can book like last minute, they can call you in the morning like, hey, we want you on set for tonight. Having the CBD products for the recovery helps a lot because I can't be sore on set. If I have to, you know, do a role when I have to be active, you already know it's gonna look stupid if I can't walk. So the importance of CBD products is huge when it comes to that part. So it helps for the last minute because it helps. Like I would never think it will kick in that fast, but it does.
Yeah. How long have you been acting, by the way? I mean, I saw your IMDb page, and it's, you know, there's a couple of movies you've been in and everything. How did that happen? Did you pursue that? Did people just find you and say, hey, you should do acting? How did that happen?
Okay, so I lived in the States for 5.5 years now. I haven't even been here that long. And the summer of 2014, it's so funny, when I was a kid, my parents always wanted me to get involved in acting, but I wasn't feeling it. This was when I was like 6 years old. I was like, no, I was scared and shy and all that stuff. I think it was when, probably like 10 years ago, when I started getting more and more into fitness, when people were like, hey, and you have a really good physique. You know, I wasn't competing on anything, but companies will hit me up in Sweden like, hey, can you work? Like I worked with Celsius, I worked with like Better Bodies. I was like, hey, can you do like a photo shoot for us? Or can you do a little bit of, you know, when you do the modeling stuff, it's a little bit of acting into it. But I didn't do anything major in Sweden. And then the summer of 2014, I came here to visit and I had 2 modeling gigs. So I did 2 modeling. I think it was 2 photo shoots. And that's what was like, you know what, I want to move to the States. It's time for me to like pursue my dreams. Came out here, always wanted to act, but I wasn't really like, I wasn't even thinking about the acting part that much. I was more thinking about the, you know, the whole modeling, the fitness, but everything here goes hand in hand. I got approached, I think it was like 6 months after I moved out here, like, hey, we really like your look. Because I did martial arts, and you know, I'm not a huge fighter, but I know like how to make it look good for camera. So with this one role, they wanted me. This is so funny. So I was basically a female Terminator.
What? Wait, which movie was this? Which one was this?
It's not in there. Okay, so we shot it. The production was gone, but then something happened with the production, so they shut down the whole movie after we. Like, I mean, I already did my part, but it was just so funny because. Do you guys know how tall I am?
5'1"?
Yes, I'm short. So people think I'm so tall. People think I'm huge because that's the illusion of bodybuilding, right? Because when I compete, I think the lightest I've been on stage is 120. And this year when I compete, I was like 130. So it's the illusion of making someone look huge, but I'm not really that big. I mean, I'm bigger than average, but it's not like I'm a giant woman that's like 6 feet tall and weighs like 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But for movies and stuff, it works. But it was this one part where I had to like literally take this girl and put her on my shoulder and like carry her out.
Do you still have, so this never got, the movie never got published or finished, huh?
No.
Do you still have clips of this? Do you have clips of it?
I have it somewhere. I feel like I do have it somewhere. It just,
oh,
you know.
You better send us a clip of that. I need to see Sashli Terminator. I need to see what this looks like.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. There's so many stuff, but like I did one role and then I posted something on my social media, and then, you know, director saw it, and then I've been like working with some big artists, you know, Steve Aoki. I've been with like French Montana. I worked like Russ, you know, been in their music videos and stuff. But the acting kind of grew more and more on me. And now it's kind of sad because with COVID, I had to kind of put it on the ice. And when I get ready for shows, I'm really focused on the show stuff. So I don't try to, it's really hard being on set because being on set is not like a couple hours. You have to be there 12 hours. You know, you have to be there maybe longer. It can be like for days. And it doesn't work when you get closer to the show. I can bring all my meals, but I can't get my workouts in on set. I think that's one of the hardest part. But I kind of like slipped into the acting, and then I did a couple of like, they used to call them lines, but basically skits when you shoot like videos for Instagram, like comedy style. I shot a couple of those, and then those went viral. I think they got like over 1 million hits on Facebook. They're like, who is that little buff girl? Like, why is she doing that? So, you know, people start finding me on social media, and like, even for people in India, it would be amazing to have, like, I have a lot of followers from India.
Awesome.
So yeah,
awesome.
So it would be even dope if you guys can add my Instagram somewhere so they can follow my journey, because I really want to like push the whole being a good spokesperson for the industry, you know, as a woman.
Awesome. All of your followers in India, buy Sashli stuff, support her stuff. Hey, and anyone in Bollywood, call up Sashli to come do a role, and you gotta be in a Bollywood movie. That's the biggest.
That would be the goal. Yes, I want to travel to India too. I've never been there. I would love to visit.
Oh my goodness, I want to see you as female Terminator in a Bollywood movie. That's what I want to see. Do you sing and dance also? Are you a singer and dancer at all?
I used to be in a band. I used to sing.
What?
In Sweden, yes.
No way.
And high school, one of my majors was dance. So out here, I've done a couple of, like, I don't call myself a professional dancer, but I definitely know how to move. You know, I've been in music videos, and it kind of goes hand in hand. And my mom usually made jokes, you know, because Persians, they're like, well, either you become a doctor or you're an engineer. And mom was like, no, you're going to be one of those. You're not going to be one of those dancers in Hollywood. Look at me now. That's why I have 2 master's degrees to balance it out.
That's right. It's right. You're finding the middle path. You're like, look, mom, look at my high level master's degree. I got educational credentials, professional credentials.
But then I'm dancing in a music video.
But then you're dancing in a music video.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
I love it. Oh, too cool.
Yeah,
hey, Sashli, this has been great. I'm just looking at the clock here. I'm seeing that, you know, we're moving through the time. Sonam or Vinesh, do you guys have any other questions for her before we let her go and continue with her badass day?
I have one. As you noticed today while we were talking, Sonam said she's an IT engineer, and she runs the Soma Flora gaming channel for us, which is for video games, right? I would like to ask you an interesting question. Like there are many people who are not into serious bodybuilding or very high level fitness, you know? They are just average people doing average stuff and maybe are looking for small fitness goals. Maybe like somebody just wants to lose 10 pounds. Maybe somebody wants to get a little leaner. Maybe, you know, everybody has some basic. So how would you suggest Nirvana CBD can help every person who has athletic dream to help to get there somehow, you know?
Yeah. It's even everyone. It doesn't even have to be anyone that's like super active. It can be if you have like long days at work or you're super active. It's not just for athletes because it actually helps like with your joints. It helps with your, you know, with your muscles. If you have knee problems, I have friends that put like the roll-on their knees. You know, it just the Nirvana CBD stuff is actually more of it goes hand in hand with the whole lifestyle thing. And my dad is like 60 years old and he has a really active job. I kind of like forced it into him a little bit. Come on, Dad, like try it a little bit. You know, and he puts it on his knees and legs. And he helps him, but he's older. So it has nothing to do with the athletes itself. These CBD products for everyone. So when it comes to the regular people and fitness, as I was mentioning earlier, just set up small goals, like try to not eat processed food, avoid like sugars, you know, avoid bad fats. If you want to have those kind of meals, just plan it for the, you know, Friday night or Saturday night or whatever, when you know that you can go out with friends, because when you don't eat that stuff every day, it might actually feel like, you know what, I'm looking forward to Friday or Saturday so I can be able to eat out with my friends. And even with the little things like just staying active, if you can't work out every day, just go out, go on a power walk, you know, just get your mind right, get your body right. So don't set up too many goals that you feel like you have to do anything, because as long as you feel like you have to, it's never going to stay. When you start wanting to, like making it a habit is going to make you feel like if you don't do it, you're going to have something missing in your life. So just don't set up too big goals, make up little goals little by little, and then you can start adding those little goals so it becomes something bigger.
Thank you, Sashli. Sonam, do you have any other questions?
The final one, my mother is a yogi. She usually uses supplements like protein shake and other muscle building supplements. So will CBD complement along with these products, the fitness products which you use? Because I didn't introduce CBD to her yet, but I'm willing to. So will it complement?
How old is your mom?
She's 62 now.
Yeah, and my dad is the same age. And for me, like incorporating that with my dad is not healthy. Don't get me wrong. He's just a skinny guy that walks around and like he has a really active job. So he's always like moving around, but it helps a lot because, you know, the older we get, our recovery gets worse, right? So if we have something natural that will help you with the relaxation or will help you with the recovery, I really believe that. And even with her joints and everything, I think it's going to really help her. Even if she doesn't have issues, it's going to be a big difference.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give her.
Yeah.
All right, Sashli, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
really,
you
really
guys.
appreciate it.
Stay in touch with me, all of you, please.
I already followed you on Insta.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have everyone follow me on Instagram. Yes, please.
Yes, Sashli Star.
Well, and we gotta figure out ways to get some of these incredible people like Sashli over to India. We've got to figure it out. It's just
that would be amazing. Cool. Planning it for 2021.
If you do come, you know at whom to call.
I will be right there. I have my Swedish passport in my hand. I'll be right there when you guys want me.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Thank
you guys have an amazing day. Okay. Have a good night, you guys.
You too. Bye, Sonam. Bye, Vinesh.
Have a good day. Bye.
Okay.